Welcome back to Berm Peak. I'm Seth, and today we're gonna be doing something a little different, but kind of the same. I have sitting beside me the biggest game changer on Berm Peak since we got the Gator, and this little RC excavator is holding the key to it. This is our brand new mini excavator. So yes, we bought a mini excavator, and for a while we were renting one. That was going really great, and we could afford to do that. However, we could not afford to let it sit there, and unfortunately, the weather's not good always. Sometimes we're working on something else, sometimes we're editing, whereas this one sits there, doesn't accumulate hours, and holds value. Probably holds value better than cash, which I hope that's an exaggeration. So yes, this is a CAT302. It's very slightly wider than our rental machine, and it's significantly heavier. It's also a lot more powerful. Anything we point this at, grab at, pull at, push at, it's just gonna do it, and that's a little bit scary, and so we're gonna have to be kind of careful with this machine. But with that extra size and weight and power comes something else even more important, and that is the tilt coupler. It allows us to not only tilt the bucket forwards and backwards, but also left to right so that we can cut and pack angles. So before we go further and I show you all the little details about this machine, I want to demonstrate how the tilt bucket works. So this section right here on the gravel road is not back sloped, and you can see how this kind of hangs off the side. Eventually, stuff crumbles and falls down. That's why we don't leave it like this, but in this case we did. And so I'm going to show you how we can cut this nicely with the blade in one swoop, no handwork. Okay, so if I were to try to cut this with a normal blade in a normal machine, as you can see, it would just kind of like cut away from the top. But like I said, we have a tilt coupler. So now I can cut at an angle. Perfect back slope. So we've now created a mess because we already had a gravel road here, but when we're roughing out a trail in the first place, we can have all this shaping done. This is gonna minimize the amount of handwork we have to do and just really increase the usefulness of the machine. But why did I choose an excavator in the first place? There are many different types of dirt moving machines and front loaders and things that we could have bought. Well, I'm gonna show you. The main reason that we bought an excavator is you can put it wherever you want. Skid steers, front loaders, they have tracks. You can drive them up pretty much anything, but eventually it gets too steep or too abrupt for it to just climb up. I mean, look at this RC excavator, which has all the same functions of a real one. We're going over here, and yeah, see it doesn't want to go up that. But you can move the excavator around. So let's say if instead of just trying to drive straight up it, we move this excavator over here, we move the arm out, and then we put it down up here. Now we have the weight over the front. I can now lower the arm and actually help drag the machine up the hill. And even though this is a very cheap Amazon toy, I'm able to actually execute this. So with a real excavator, especially a really powerful one like we got, we can put this anywhere on Berm Peak we want, no matter how steep, no matter how janky it is. And that makes it useful in more places. So I wasn't gonna show this in the video, but what the hell? This machine has a feature that allows you to move the tracks in and out so you can fit down a really narrow pathway. Like, let me show you how it works. So the first thing I have to do is get this machine on flat ground, and I have to actually rotate it so that it's sitting backwards. So now I need to actually lift the entire machine up in the air. Now, how am I gonna do that? Well, I'm gonna do it with the blade and the boom. So first I'm gonna put my blade down, and I'm gonna lift the back of the machine up in the air. Okay, so now it's off the ground. Now I'm gonna lift up the front. Okay, so now the machine is completely up in the air. I can actually make the machine way narrower. Now, it's not gonna be as stable like this. I don't think we're gonna ever use it on the trails like this, but Berm Peak is not the only place we're gonna be using this machine. We wanna help out in the community. We wanna help out on other people's projects. But for now, we need to prepare for a future project by getting this machine up into moonshingle thickets. And it's not gonna be easy, might be a bit of a learning experience in itself. So let's start moving it inch by inch. So what I'm gonna do here is position the machine over here. I'm gonna position the boom down this way so that there's no way the machine can flip backwards, and I'm actually gonna use the arm to push the machine up on here. So now I'm up on the ledge, or almost. Again, always a learning experience. Oh, this is not good. Ugh. We are not ready to go beyond Berm Peak. Oh yeah. And we are up here. That was, it's kind of harrowing. I gotta get better at this. So I'm driving the machine up behind the big berm that we built. Now, luckily, we did a pretty good job building it, and so I don't think it's gonna damage it that much, and I get to fix it with that tilt bucket. Does not want to turn. Maybe Kubota doesn't do that. The stick is in the track. I know, if it gets in between the track, it's not gonna be good. Okay, so far so good. So just driving up the berm itself is just gonna leave some track marks, not a big deal. Ugh. I've gotta put the machine right down there, which is pretty harrowing. So how do we do this? I say we start by putting the boom down to keep us from flipping over. So now we want to try and set her down. I think I'm over. We made it over the berm. And so this is where we're gonna start bench cutting next time we work on thumb bucket. But for now, I think I'm gonna try and fix the berm from here because I put some pretty serious track marks in it. Maybe this would be an opportunity for me to test out the tilt coupler. All right, little learning curve. That didn't quite save us from having to do handwork, but I gotta put in another 1,000 hours with this thing to really get the hang of that tilt coupler. And so we're really excited to integrate this new machine into our workflow. We're gonna have to name it. Maybe Uncle Terry? I don't know. Let me know what you think we should name the machine in the comments, and thanks for riding with me today. I'll see you next time. I think these are dry. This thing literally can't pick up shit. Okay, perfect. Here, we'll just drop it off right here. Ew.